Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Kaiwaza with you. And I gotta apologize if I'm kind of coughing. I'm not sick, I don't exactly know what's happening. I took my carpets out a short while ago. I have some carpets in my, roll-up carpets in my apartment. I rolled them out and beat them, which you should do every so often, and to get all the dust and whatever out. And I'm still, that was like half an hour ago, and I'm still kind of like coughing, I don't know. So having a little tea, and I hope that will help, because I'm determined to do a couple of videos for the week this afternoon. So I'm gonna forge ahead. So bear with me, thank you. So we're on the letter C, Compilations, but first a bit of an update, a couple of recent acquisitions I've gotten that are under letters that we have already covered. First one being the letter I. This album, I don't know if you can see it too well, it has kind of a silvery, reflective silvery title there. It's called Lonely Seabird by Barney Isaacs Jr. and his Hawaiian Islanders. I just got this from eBay, and I had some questions for the seller because I wasn't sure about this one. This is on Polydor Records of Japan, but it was recorded at Sounds of Hawaii Studio. So I wasn't sure exactly what it was. Barney Isaacs Jr. Is the Isaacs family, Ata Isaacs, Leland Isaacs. There's several of them, and they usually quite often recorded together. But I'd never seen a solo album, particularly just from Barney Isaacs. And it is, in fact, instrumental steel guitar music from Barney Isaacs on steel and his backup group. What happens, why it's a little bit confusing sometimes, is it's not uncommon for an artist, Hawaiian artist, to record something in Japan for the Japanese market, and it's never released in the United States or in Hawaii. So, and this is one of those, and I wasn't sure if it was that or not. But it's a gatefold, and it's all it's all actually Japanese songs, and a couple of songs written by the members of the group, the Barney Isaacs group. Lonely Seabird, of course, being the title track. If you translate, and I do for my own purposes when I'm uploading to MP3 files, I translate titles to English because I'm not going to use all the foreign language titles and whatever. And they're always, Japanese albums, always kind of interesting when you translate them because it's a different language, you know. But some of the titles are After the Ship Is Gone, It Was a Long Time Ago, Bending Flower, My Mother Is Lying. I wonder what that one's about. And my personal favorite, there's actually a song title that translates to Oh My God. That's what it translates to. So, anyway, it's all instrumental steel guitar, Hawaiian music, Japanese songs, Polydor Records. There's no date on it, probably the early 80s, I would say. Okay, now this next album I was really excited to find, and you're going to be like, why? But I was. It's yet another album of highlights from Rodgers and Hammerstein's musical South Pacific. Like, I have the original, the film, and the Broadway cast, and then I have the multiple recordings that are done by other orchestras and bands. When something was popular like that, everybody would do it. And this is a budget label on Rondelette Stereophonic. Now, I never get them additional copies of South Pacific unless they're really cheap, and it was 99 cents. But honest to God, I would have paid more just for the cover alone. And I know you're going to be like, why do you like this cover? But when I saw this at Goodwill the other day, my heart just melted. Like, I just love this cover. I'm almost ashamed to show it to you because you're going to be like, why do you like this? It's so budget label, and it's like, what is this thing, this doll? It's kind of like, reminds me of, you know, at Christmas time, I can't remember the artist, but They're being imitated or redone now, but they did sort of like elves that were sort of stuffed like felt things, and they had weird faces, and it kind of reminds me of that, and I just love it so much, and I love that that's all they put on the cover. I mean, it's so weird, like just blue and this yellow South Pacific and just this weird freaky doll. And I absolutely love it. And the music is completely non-committal. I mean, it's just orchestral renditions of the South Pacific songs with singers, and but loving it. Okay, now we have to continue with compilations since I've taken up so much time on those two. This is one that, oddly enough, doesn't really have a name on the cover, just song titles, and it says here in small print, World's Fair Edition. This is the Hawaii exhibit at the New York World's Fair 1964-65. I have no idea if this was actually sold there. There's a picture of the a miniature of the World's Fair exhibit, that Hawaii had a pavilion at this World's Fair in New York. And the songs are sort of supposedly favorites. To You, Sweetheart, Aloha, and Hawaiian War Chant, and those kind of songs. Recorded by different artists. The artists are not credited on the record. They are about half instrumentals and half vocals. The instrumentals, although they're not credited, are from the Paul Mark group, because this is all stuff from other albums. And then the instrumentals are other artists on the Sounds of Hawaii label that they just pulled songs from for this album. So like I said, I don't know if this was actually sold or available at the World's Fair. Probably not, but I have no idea. Okay. Here's a record from, it's a British pressing. It's actually recorded in New Zealand on Columbia, Great Britain, called Hawaiian Affair. This is an instrumental album compilation from 3 different steel guitarists, not played together, 3 different artists. Trevor Edmondson, Bill Savesi, and Bill Wolfgram, all kind of noted steel guitarists in New Zealand. And these are songs, actually, I think pretty much from other albums that were put together for this. Hawaiian Hotel March, Hawaiian Affair, Vikings on the March, and we're referring to the Maori, South Pacific Vikings. Tiger Shark, love that song. How Do You Do, Kalima Waltz. Has quite an interesting write-up on Polynesia in the back. In fact, I think it was kind of funny. It says there are quite a few people, they're talking about Britain, there are quite a few people around who aren't too sure in which ocean Polynesia is located, and there's always a wag who will conceal his uncertainty by suggesting that the word designates loss of memory appertaining to parrots. Polynesia, get it? Amnesia. Cute. Okay. Hawaiian Guitar Hot Shots. This is from Yazoo Records. There's not a date on this one, but I know it has to be late 70s or 1980, because when I was working at KTUH Radio in the early 80s, they had this record. I was playing it. In fact, I used to play Saul Ho'opi'is in There's Nothing to Do in Malakamokalu. Love that song. And Roy Smeck's rendition of My Little Grass Shack, steel guitarist. This is a very old recording. These are old, like 78 recordings put onto an LP. The Roy Smeck version of My Little Grass Shack on here is a very, very old one. He re-recorded it a few times later, but this version of it is killer in a way that the other ones are not. It's just absolute, like, Betty Boop cartoon madness, his version of Little Grass Shack. But these are all 78s. Finally then, today we will look at Hawaiian favorites. This is on a somewhat of a budget label also, called Tops. Mayfair Tops, Mayfair series. And it's by 2 artists, 1 artist on each side. Side 1, Akoni Lani and his Islanders. Side B, they're pretty well known, Danny Kalakaua Stewart and his Aloha Boys. Both sides vocal. I think there's maybe a couple instrumentals on there. really rather fetching. There's a Yellow Rose in Hilo. That was kind of an interesting song on this album, which is Yellow Rose of Texas with different lyrics. And of course, I think what's notable here is the fetching cover, where she's like really showing off the girls here, so to speak. Okay, let's listen to a few samples.
On the sands and her hula hands just seem to say, hold on to your Connie and don't let him go, or I might steal him away. So one day Naki Nabua from Kailua took a trip to Waikiki.
I hope you enjoyed those samples. If you like that kind of music, you're invited to tune in to any of the 3 outlets I have now to hear music from my Hawaiian collection. I have another YouTube channel called Hawaiian Leisure Hour. You can check that out. I have selections from the records on that channel. I also have Hawaiian Leisure Hour on 8tracks.com. Where there are curated playlists of songs, anywhere between like 12 and 25 songs on a playlist that you can listen to. And then lastly, on live365.com, I'm very happy to announce, if you didn't already hear, that my online internet radio station is resurrected there, along with Live365 itself being resurrected. And it is called Hawaiian Hi-Fi. Like HI-FI. Now Hawaii 5-0, Hawaii Hi-Fi. Okay, Hawaiian Hi-Five. So any of those 3 places you can hear more music, and if you like this video, please subscribe so you can keep up with this never-ending series. Have a good week.